Hey Buddha fam, it's time for some more tomato maintenance. They grow so fast. So I'm going to start off by just going through removing all the suckers. Even huge ones like this with flower clusters. I missed this, so I'm going to snip this one off. If you did have one and it did have a flower cluster like this, you can snip off right above it, leave the leaf, and then that way you can still enjoy those tomatoes if you want. So I'll leave that one so we can watch that grow and you can see how it's done. But we're going to go down. Remember, I picked all these off before. They just love to reshoot. Look at this one I missed. See up here? Follow this one down. Again, down to a spot where I know that I already cut the sucker out once. Look at that. She even had some tomatoes on her own. And another cool thing I recently did to show you was that if you pick off a huge shoot like this, you can actually grow this into a new plant. See? I just did it. So this one I had picked off a few weeks ago. I just put it in a new pot. Look, we already got tomatoes, new flowers, nice growth point. Second wave of tomatoes off of your pruners. All right, now that we got all the suckers off, we gotta lower these. We haven't shown you how to do this, but let's bring you in. We'll show you how we lower these vines so that they have more room to grow. So now that we need to lower them, the end ones are nice and easy because we can just come off the edge. So we're just gonna undo some of this twine. And you can see how this tomato gets lowered. We want about 12 inches. It's gonna swing off, that's fine. And now when you see, top of the tomato is right here. Still has all that to regrow, and once it grows back up, we'll keep doing the same thing. And here, when you get to the middle ones where you can't undo it off the edge, remember we wrapped it loosely, so you're just gonna grab this string with one hand and very gently just kind of slide this around and unspool it, and then all of this will slowly lower. Right over to this one. I'll grab the tomato and the twine with one hand and just gently unspool this. Now you can see them lowered, how much more room they have. I'll take any of the tops that have grown too far and we'll do our twist method. We secure them. Missed a shoot right there. Right over here, we got a tomato clip right there, so we don't need to add another one just yet. Pick off these top suckers that I couldn't see. Now you can see we lowered them. We got another 12 to 18 inches to grow. Now let me show you something really cool that'll make all this a lot easier. Here we have what we call a roller hook system, and this is specifically designed for growers that use this trellising technique. Basically, it's a spool of twine on a metal latch system, and if I try and pull down, it doesn't go anywhere, it's locked. But if I squeeze this right here, it releases, and I can actually lower. See how much twine is coming off? If you lower too much, you can just spin it back on and it locks itself. That's what it looks like close up. Some twine, and when I depress this, it releases the lock. You can see it right there where my thumb is. It's a little piece of plastic that spins around and hits that metal and it'll stop it. When you depress it, it releases it. So they're super cool, super easy. And so our next step is we want to remove a lot of these leaves. The tomato plant keeps growing tall. It doesn't need a full length of leaves along the whole stem. And then the older leaves can typically get diseased, they're weaker, and then they start to touch the ground, they get wet. So we're going to trim all these off and create a nice open environment with some good airflow down here to keep everything nice and fresh. And so I'm just going to start at the base and work my way up and trim off anything along the stem up until about 12 inches off the ground. All right, there we have it. Here we have some vines. Clearly I have some tomatoes on my vines, so I'm not going to trim those off. Still going to eat these. You can see all the leaves we took off of just one plant with the two vines. And here, when we get to this particular plant, you can see the leaves. See how they're yellowing? This is probably a disease, whether it's anthracnose or septaria, leaf spot, maybe an early blight. But in any case, this is another reason why I like to pick off the leaves, because when you get higher up, everything still looks nice and good. And then we can pick these off and it stops it from spreading. Piece of caution is that after you're done clipping off a plant that might be diseased or infected, you want to just sterilize these with some alcohol or something before you go on to your next plant. But now look at that plant. Doesn't it look a whole lot healthier? We got some airflow down there. Now all the current leaves are still looking nice and good. And that's our tomato update. So hope yours are doing well. Mine are so far. We got a bunch of cherries on here. Look at some of these clusters. If you have any questions, let me know. Hope you learned a few cool new tricks. So thanks for watching. I earned myself a little break. We're gonna have a tomato sandwich. We'll see you around.